What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2009 movie Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. In this movie, Harry is attending his 6th year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and he's beginning to take these little history lessons with Albus Dumbledore. They're going through the Pensieve and watching some of Dumbledore's old memories from when he met Voldemort for the first time as a kid, back when he went by Tom Riddle, and they were also trying to get this memory from Horace Slughorn, who Dumbledore gets to come out of retirement to go back to teaching potions at Hogwarts, and they were trying to get this vital memory from him that will help them unlock clues to how to defeat Voldemort and everything. And along the way throughout the movie, there's all kinds of different things going on with the students. Relationships are starting to form between Harry and Ginny, and Ron and Hermione. Their relationships are all starting to form in this movie, and there's little subplots where that Ron is dating this girl named Lavender, and Hermione's jealous, and Harry wants to be with Ginny, but he also isn't so sure about it and everything, and eventually they all end up together. And also there's another subplot with Draco Malfoy practicing this thing with the vanishing cabinet thing that'll to help bring Death Eaters into Hogwarts and stuff, because he's planning on having to kill Dumbledore but under Voldemort's orders, and everything. There's quite a bit of stuff going on, but this movie manages to tie all of these plot lines up really well. They do a really good job with it, and I've always really liked this movie quite a bit. I know a lot of people actually say this is one of their least favorites, if not their least favorite Harry Potter movie. I've never understood the hate for it, and when this movie came out, I wouldn't say that I had lost interest in Harry Potter, because I did still love it, but I wasn't as in love with it as I was with those first 3 movies. By the time this one came around, I was my Harry Potter hype train wasn't fully dead, but it just wasn't as ongoing, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't as excited for this one. Plus, when I first read the book, it was one of my least favorite books and everything, but I think that's just because the time it came out and everything, things that were going on in my life. I just didn't enjoy much of anything at that time, because I was really having some bad health problems, and even the book wasn't able to keep my mind off of things back then. But I reread the book a few years ago after the movie came out and stuff. I like the book a lot more now as well, but the movie I didn't expect to like, because I remember being disappointed in the book and everything. But the movie really surprised me. I had a lot of fun with this one. Every time I watch it, I always do. I think this is definitely one of the most underrated movies in the franchise. I'd actually say it is the most underrated. This one and Chamber of Secrets both, I think, don't really get the credit they deserve. But this one has a lot of really great moments in here and stuff. And it's kind of known as being kind of a filler movie, because it's kind of like one of those that's pretty much like a lot of it is there to set up what's gonna come next in the big finale, which they split it into 2 parts. But I really enjoyed it. A lot of the stuff with Hermione and Ron and stuff, and like her finally realizing she has feelings for him, and all of the stuff that that teenagers go through and stuff in this movie, they captured that really well. Like the first heartbreak and stuff that Hermione's experiencing from her jealousy with Ron, and we get to see a more vulnerable side of Hermione in this movie, which we see it even more in the next one, but you really see it in this one. And Hermione is just, she's one of the toughest characters in the franchise, so seeing her like that in this movie is kind of sad to see it and everything, but she's really good. And there's a nice little moment between her and Harry and stuff when they're just having a little friendship moment that just absolutely love those kind of moments in these movies and everything. Maybe I'm just overly sentimental, but I love little moments like that where just the characters are interacting and they're not even really saying a lot, but you can just tell by the way the movie is. But it also has one of the funniest moments in the entire franchise when Harry drinks the liquid luck and stuff, and he goes to visit Hagrid, and Slughorn is following him and stuff, and he sounds like he's drunk. And from what I understand, Daniel Radcliffe actually really was drunk when he filmed most of this movie, and you can see it throughout most of the movie, especially in that scene. And knowing that he was actually drunk when he filmed it just makes it even more hilarious to me. Now, I know he's criticized himself for his performance in this movie, but I actually think this is one of the best performances he gave in the entire franchise. You could tell he was having a blast while filming it, even though he was drunk and stuff. You could tell he was having fun making it and everything. And I think it's really fun to watch. I'm sure it'd be really cringy though if the tables were turned and it was me. I probably think it's really cringy too and stuff. But I love the way that the stuff with him when he drinks liquid luck. It's just absolutely hilarious to watch. And stuff. I like the part when he's just walking down to see Hagrid, and Slughorn is like, Harry, and he's like, sir, and the way that the two of the actors just got that scene right. It's just absolutely hilarious. And also the scene when Ron has the love potion and stuff, and he's like in love with Romilda Vane, who is a girl that is after Harry, but Ron thought that the candies were for him for some reason. He just ate them, didn't realize they had love potion in them and stuff. That scene is also hilarious too, when he's like talking about being in love with her and everything, and like Harry insults him, and he throws the book at his head and stuff. That scene cracks me up too. And then, but this movie has a lot of really fun, lighthearted moments, but it also has some darker moments and stuff too. I know people probably would complain about the tonal issues, but I think that they really did a good job at mixing them together, the darker tone with some of the more lighthearted moments in this part of the franchise. Because I mean, at this point things are just not as fun and stuff. There's a big sense of dread going on throughout the whole second half of this franchise, pretty much from Goblet of Fire on. They have this big sense of dread and stuff throughout all of them, and this one took it back to having some of that lightheartedness that we saw in the first three movies a little bit, and I love that about it. And also the performances in here are excellent, especially Tom Felton as Malfoy. I think he gives his best performance in the franchise in this movie. Personally, I love like the conflict and stuff you see in him when he is supposed to be killing Dumbledore and everything. You can tell he doesn't want to do it, and Tom Felton just does a great job playing him in that scene. And once again, Alan Rickman is great as Snape. Pretty much the entire cast are great in their roles once again. I mean, you kind of just expect that. And Jim Broadbent, who plays Slughorn, is absolutely perfect casting. When I first heard that he was cast as Slughorn, I was like, I don't see it, because in the book he's described as like this short, heavy-set man that kind of resembles a walrus. And I know it was a really popular fan casting for Bob Hoskins to play him and everything, and he was always the person I pictured would play him. But I think they went with an excellent choice with Jim Broadbent. He was absolutely perfect. Maybe he don't look like the character is described in the book, but he brought the role to life perfectly and everything. And Jim Broadbent's another one of those character actors that I've always really liked a lot, and I love him as Slughorn. He's just absolutely perfect in the role, and he's a really lovable character and has a little bit of a dark secret that's connected to Voldemort and stuff that I thought was played out really well in the movie and everything. My biggest complaint is they did leave out a lot of the backstories and stuff that Harry learns about Voldemort, because in the book we find out a whole bunch of stuff about him, like before he was born, and like his parents and all that. They did a lot of stuff, and they left out a lot of Voldemort's backstory and everything, and I personally felt that was kind of wasted potential. They could have left out some of the other subplots maybe, and to keep focus on that, because I think those were important things that we really needed for Voldemort, but we didn't really get them in the movie. They could have like left out the Quidditch stuff or something, but for the most part, I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a really fun movie. There's not, like I said, the Voldemort backstory things are kind of just a negative, but at the same time, I still like pretty much all the stuff they did with this movie. I think it turned out to be really good, and I think it's very underrated and stuff. I do wish we could have got more of the backstory, and the Dursleys were omitted from this one again, and that was another thing. Just like with Goblet of Fire, I feel like their scenes were kind of crucial to the story, and they really needed to be in here. I would have loved to get to see their interaction with Dumbledore like it was in the book, because Dumbledore actually goes to pick up Harry there at the beginning of the book instead of meeting him at that coffee shop place that they meet in this one. I personally feel like it would have been a lot better, and it would have been a lot cooler to kind of show some more light on the history between Dumbledore, and like it explains a lot more of why Harry had to keep going back to Privet Drive and stuff during the summer, at least for a little while each summer. I don't get why they deleted that either. They could have easily kept it in. Like I said, they could have made the movie longer or take out some of the scenes. Like I said, the Quidditch scenes didn't have to be in the movie, and everything. That was the one part of the movie that I didn't like as much, but they kind of had to have it too, I guess, if they were going to try to make it make sense for the love story between Ron and Lavender and everything, and the stuff with Hermione being jealous and stuff. But I think they could have done a lot better with some of the things in here. But unlike Goblet of Fire, I for some reason can find it more forgivable. Maybe it's just because I wasn't as attached to the book like I was Goblet of Fire, maybe. I don't know. But I do love this one. I think it's a really great movie, very underrated. And it is a slower paced movie. It's a smaller scale movie. There's not a lot of action in here. Although we do get a really cool scene when Harry and Dumbledore go to this cave, and there's like these zombie creatures crawling out of the water in the cave, and Dumbledore uses his wand to set them all on fire. It's really awesome scene. The last really kick butt moment with Dumbledore in the franchise before he dies. But yeah, this one is a smaller scale, and there was a little mini battle at Hogwarts in the book that was kept out of the movie too. I think they were not wanting to have a battle here because they didn't want the last one to feel repetitive, and they wanted to make it feel more epic. So that I could understand why they left out, because it to me it makes a little bit more sense on a franchise movie standpoint and stuff. But all in all, I love Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I think it's a really great movie in the franchise, and it's one of my personal favorites. I've always really liked this one a lot. I've seen it in the theater 5 times. I saw it 4 times when it originally came out, and then, like I said in a couple of my videos, one of the summers back, I think it was either 2017 or 2018, my local theater was playing all the Harry Potter movies throughout the summer, so I went and saw each of them and everything. And so I saw this one 5 times, which is a tie for me on movies that I've seen the most in the theaters, with Scooby-Doo from 2002. I saw that one in the theater 5 times as well. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a really great movie, awesome story, and the characters are really great, and it's a good little calm before the storm of the big finale that we got later. But it's a really fun movie. Everything, like I said, I can get why some people don't like it, because it is a slower movie. Not a lot happens in here, but we do find out a little bit more about Voldemort's backstory that I wish we could have see the full backstory come to play in the movie, but they did what they did. But all in all, I think this is a great entry in the franchise, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's really entertaining, and like I said, it's one of my favorites in this franchise for sure. And I've always really thought this one was underrated. And out of the later installments in the franchise, it's probably one of the ones I've seen the most, because I watched it a lot when it first came out and everything. And I'm surprised that I still like it as much as I do. But like with the first 3, I love this one a lot too. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.